Hi guys. Due to recent events, I decided to do a video on how it is to be black within the industry. Everyone in this video is a professional in the industry, whether that's a writer or an actor or a spoken word artist. They are in the industry and they are also professional, really good at their game. Also on that note, I wanted to thank every single person that is in this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Couldn't do it without you. I appreciate you. You have beautiful words, beautiful stories. So I just wanted to give a big thank you before we get started. So before we get started with the video, I just wanted to address everybody watching. I know I've got a lovely following made up with beautiful different people. And I know I've got a few young black actors out there, so I just wanted to make it special and quickly address you guys before we get started. So this one, I'm saying, what you hear in this video may be disheartening because it is literally the harsh truth. I grew up with, you've got to work twice as hard because of this. But I want you to channel everything that you hear from this video, literally channel everything. And I want you to come out stronger because of it. I want you to come out wiser because of it, okay? So we have many like directors and stuff that have literally been paving the way for us. Yeah, I've got a guy in here called Anthony. He's a writer and this is what he's doing. He's paving the way for us. Look at Rapman, Ashley Waters, the OGs before them. They're paving the way for us so that we can have it a little bit easier, okay? So guys, just aim for the stars and beyond. Don't let anything limit you, including this. Don't let anything limit you. Make you be stronger, give you more fights, okay? Aim for the stars because I know you can do it. As an actor, people will tear you down already, tell you that you probably can't do it. So you need to make sure you aim for the stars, okay? Mate, in secondary school, we had like those guidance counselor people. They said to me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be an actor. They was like, maybe you should get a backup plan. Next month, I'll be off to film a TV show. So if I can do it, you can. So make sure you aim for the stars and never stop. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't, because you can. Okay guys, without further ado, this is Acting Up with G. My name is Georgia Grant Anderson and welcome to Being Black in the Industry.
And I cried.
How being black affects me as an actress. So many ways. I think the first one, an obvious one, is typecasting and being put up or put into roles that are just quite clearly stereotypes. That's a big one. I think another one for me is being a mixed race actress. Kind of not being black enough for the black roles and not white enough for the white roles. And I think that I kind of understand where the TV houses come from when they do it, and it's because there's just no representation of black people anyway. So the one black role that they have, they can't put a mixed race person in it because it will be seen as whitewashing, even though the rest of society perceives us as black. It is what it is. Yeah, another one I know a lot of actresses feel is before you actually go to set, is being asked to do your own hair. I know that one's a big pet peeve. It's one of the most annoying things ever, being asked to do your own hair because they don't have a stylist who can do black hair. And then when you actually get to set, if they haven't asked you to do it, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, they'll just hand you the brush and gel and just go, like, would you mind if you could just slick it back yourself? Because it'd just be a lot easier, and I think it would just save a lot of time. Also, I really don't want to hurt you. As though brushing my hair, slicking back my hair would hurt me. But it's just because they have no idea what they're doing. And production companies don't hire people that can do black hair. And then the worst one, the one for me that really gets to my core, which is just so overtly just ridiculous, is when I go for an audition for an RP accent, and this has happened a lot to me. Like, I can't even tell you how many times. I think it happens every time I go in for an RP accent, actually. I go in, and then they ask me, they turn to their assistant or whatever, and are like, oh, yeah, good idea. Would you mind just doing a couple takes in your own accent? We just want to see what it would bring, yeah. And then I am then forced to tell them that I have an RP accent, and I can do it in another accent if you want me to, because I'm an actress and I can do many accents. But yeah, the fact that you assume that I don't have an RP accent is really not a good look. And it's happened so many times that my agent now has to forewarn them that RP is my accent. Which, thank God for my agent. I just love her so much for doing that, because it saves me a lot of stress. Although I'd quite like to know, if they didn't know that beforehand, who would get called out on it again. But yeah, that one really, really irks me. Yeah. Just to name a few.
In my lifetime, I never thought ever talk about this shit. I never thought ever rap about this shit. But I'll be stupid enough if I don't use my platform to make an awareness about this shit. Listen, black lives don't matter. Black lives only matter when a white person go caught. Our ancestors did not fight for our freedom just to be chained by a white man's system. We both know who plays coppers and robbers and heroes and villains, and still know who's gonna claim to be a victim. They see a black man making illegal profit. I'm trying to be a white man, I'm trying to be a prophet. I'm far from a preacher, but I'm close to a sinner. They sit back there and start lapping at us like hyenas. The only time when they respect us is if we take our front back like Simba. I don't know if I should ever tell my future kid to watch out for the feds or be careful for the racist, or should I stay hopeful like Diddy?
And I cried. Yesterday I woke at 5 and I cried. I turned to look at my babies and I cried. I closed my eyes and I cried.
Well, my experience of being a young black actor working in this industry is very much that the characters that I'm lucky enough to audition for, or even lucky enough to play on different things, tend to be very very surface level, as in they don't really have anything deeper to them. They're very I felt like they were one word characters that you could easily describe in one word. You know, oh, he's angry, or this one's troublemaker, or this one's funny, or this one's it never seemed to have anything more than just the one word that that writer had intention. And I think that's part of the reason why I've recently began writing, is because I wanted to write more roles that, not only for me, I think it began writing for me, but now I just enjoy writing interesting characters that have a lot of meaning to them, and more than just I guess what someone would think from an outside view, and that's what a lot of those one word characters tend to be. They're just a perspective of what a lot of people think someone is like, you know. So that's why hopefully, you know, I've been lucky enough to begin writing and learning a lot more about writing, so I can write more black characters that are interesting and more personal and more real and more realistic.
My name is Musa Mansa. My stage name, Mansa Musa. And I am a world record holder. And also a presenter on the best radio station, eachteachradio.com. I am a Muslim and I am a black man. And I have been faced with all the stereotypes and all the jokes. I say to some, Assalamu alaikum, or Wagwan to my other folks. But you see, when I approach some women on the same road, she might cross the road or put her bag on the other side. When I approach some men, he may call the police in hope I end up in the back of his ride, if not worse. And here's a reality of an experience that hurt. Amongst a group of 9, consisting of 4 black, 1 white, 2 Asian, and 2 mixed race. The police said they are stopping us due to a robbery in this area, and we are investigating this case. You guys match the profile. 9 black young men in this area. We know what you are doing. Now the reality is we were celebrating the white male's birthday, which was nicely ruined. Since then, I've been aware of appearance and judging a book by its cover. That's why I'm probably less threatening if I'm tied up in a 3-piece suit than if I'm wearing a tracksuit designed by my brother. Now, as a stylist in the costume and wardrobe department in Moving Image, for me, comfortability is first and foremost. But I am aware of the importance of how image is. I am aware of stereotypes and how clothes can influence what appearance is, resulting in a constant battle with the duality of comfort versus appearance. But I love it. I love working with people, all people, different people, as ultimately I'm learning from people. What makes people uncomfortable and what makes people comfortable when it comes to themselves and other people. And the people I style are from very different walks of life. Therefore, I'm learning to represent the different walks of life. But I love it. And all I can do is grow. Same way I try to support up and coming brands to help them grow. Because I know if I support you and you support me, that's the best way I feel. Maybe, just maybe, we can change a stereotype and grow a better community.
So when I first started out in this industry, I was 18, and my first interview with an agent, I got asked if I would be comfortable appearing nude in TV shows and movies, and I was so shocked that that was like a question that I got asked in a first meeting with an agent, and I was just uncomfortable. But I understand now why he asked me that question. I am phenotypically mixed race. Both my parents are mixed race. Both my grandfathers were Nigerian. My grandmother on my dad's side was Portuguese, and my grandmother on my mum's side was English. I am 2nd generation mixed race, and like many other mixed race women in this industry, my identity is heavily fetishized and sexualized, and I cannot tell you how many casting calls I got for video vixens, or to be the trapper's girlfriend, or things like that, or must appear nude, must be comfortable appearing in underwear. So many. As a young mixed race actress starting out, it was horrible, and it was so hard for me to stand by these principles that I wanted to maintain. It was very, very tough, and I got to that point where I felt like maybe I wouldn't make it if I wasn't going to take my clothes off. And it was very sad, and sometimes it would be girlfriend roles where I only had 1 or 2 lines, and my sole purpose was to be there to make the man look a certain kind of way, be that a black man or a white man. When I started out in this industry, I had straight hair, so I used to chemically straighten my hair. And then because I tick diversity boxes and I speak well, I would get a lot of corporate jobs because I looked ethnically ambiguous, clearly non-white, but ticked their diversity box and spoke well. Perfect, right? And then I let my natural hair start growing out, and I didn't book a single corporate job for a year. After that, any corporate jobs that I did book wanted a more urban look. I became, once my natural hair was out, I was no longer possibly ethnically ambiguous. I was clearly mixed race black, and I'm more comfortable than I've ever been, and I'm discovering a new section of our industry, but it's tough. It's tough. I walk into the rooms most of the time, you won't see a black casting director in there. It's people who don't look like you, and you're meant to be fitting their box that they have created of what they think you should look like and what they think you should be for their commercial. And it's a tick box industry, but it's changing. We're having so many more black writers and mixed writers coming out writing our stories authentically, and it's so important that we do that. I'm writing as well. Funny enough, I'm writing a play that satirizes this idea of the mixed race sexualized cast type. It's important that we talk about these things. It's important that we don't ignore them. And it's important that we stick together. Us black actors, we are few and far between in this community, and we need to prop each other up. Even though most of the time it's all of us competing for one role, we still need to prop each other up. So yeah, that's what I think about when I think about being black in the UK acting industry.
I cried for my people and every black child yet to be born. I cried for the rage that my people are forced to display. I cried and wished George Floyd had lived another day.
Being a black actor in this industry, the color of my skin hasn't, I wouldn't say hasn't really affected me negatively, because first of all, I've never actually experienced any like first-hand racism. I mean, maybe there's been times where like people may sort of like see me walking on like the sidewalk or the pavement, and then they will cross the road, but nobody has like verbally sort of like been racist to me. And being a black actor in this industry, to be honest, I just stick to my own. Like literally, I just do me. You know, I'm one person who doesn't give a crap what anyone thinks about me. I just go in, I do my own thing. You know, I'll come out. I'm just there to network. You know, just make connections, mingle with people, get to know people. I've never actually like experienced any like racism, and I just do my own. I just like, you know, I stick to myself. I don't try to get involved in any drama, because me, I'm the type of guy, I try to get along with everybody. You know what I mean? I try to get along with everybody. I try not to have any enemies or anything like that, and I just do me, to be honest. And if people have a problem with me, but they've never actually like physically, verbally said it to my face, then you know, at the end of the day, you might have a problem with me, but you're the one with the problem because you have a problem with me. I won't have any problems. You're the one with the problem with me.
Suffered racism in the industry. I haven't really suffered racism like that, but I know that since I come from like an ethnic minority, just because I'm black, I just know that I need to work harder. I need to keep going, and I need to be more resilient and stuff like that. So in terms of like when I go in the casting room and stuff, when I went out for castings, gone for audition, I would say I've been treated fairly. I haven't encountered any problems, I should say, but I know that I've been treated well, and I haven't got anything bad to say about anyone or any casting director that I've seen. We've all been treated the same way, we've all been treated equally. But I would say like when I first started back in 2016, when I was 16 years old, trying to get my foot in the industry, I would say that I did come across some challenges, but I overcame them, and then I eventually signed with my first agent, and then But obviously, when I left the agent that I signed with, it was a lot harder to find a new agent. Like, I think I saw about like 6 different agents. I even saw the same one twice on a different occasion, and so I just know that I just need to work harder and I just need to keep going. And I would say it is a big competition, and I would know that I just need to be resilient and just know I can do this.
I cried from exhaustion from continuously having to fight. I cried because every time one of my people is killed, I, like so many, lose a piece of my soul.
Hi, my name is Anthony Q. Farrell. I am a writer for television. I've written on shows like The American Office, Nickelodeon's The Thundermans. I created Secret Life of Boys for the BBC, developing a bunch more stuff right now. I've worked in Los Angeles. I've worked in Toronto, which is where I'm from. I worked in the UK. Worked all over the place. All that to tell you that I have a lot of experience working in different places. And so when I'm talking to you about what it means to be Black as a writer in television, I'm telling you from a lot of different angles. So so this is the thing. Being Black and a television writer, there are good things to it and there are bad things to it. The good things, I think, are this. Because of the way I was raised, because of who I am, because of my culture, I have a unique perspective which I bring to the work that I put out there. No one else has my story. I have that story. I can use it to make all kinds of interesting, creative things. That's the great thing about being Black in this industry. The bad thing is that the people who are the gatekeepers, who get to make TV, who get to decide what we see and decide what gets put on, a lot of those people don't have the same background I have. So when I'm putting my stuff out there, they don't quite understand it. So I am put in a place where if I want to be successful, I have to find ways to make it relatable to their experience. And of course, we're all people. There's always ways to relate, but I find that is, one of the things that has to happen if you want to be successful. Unfortunately, in this business, is that you have to figure out a way to sell your story in a way that's going to be interesting to people who are not your complexion, who are not your race, because otherwise, it's not going to be, it's not going to be worth the money and the effort for them to put into it, because they're trying to sell. I hear this all the time, like when I'm talking to people who I'm trying to sell shows to. One of the things they always say is, will it reach the middle of the country? This is both Canada and the States. Will it reach the middle of the country? Will the people who don't see Black people every day, will they still want to watch this show about Black people? So it's a struggle, not gonna lie, but I've been lucky. I've been blessed to be able to put my work out there, and I, of course, once you get up, you got to make sure you reach down and bring a bunch of people up with you, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to do the best I can, but this is, the reality of it is, like I always say, you got to work twice as hard for half as much, and that's a shock to a lot of people that don't realize that that's what Black parents say to their kids, but that's what we say. I'm still saying it to my kids, so not a lot's changed. Well, hopefully that will change.
Hey guys, Georgia here. So for me, my journey as an actor has been absolutely amazing. I've loved every single second of it. The times that come to my mind when I think of being Black in the industry, how it affects me, is usually coming from like my fellow cast members. I can't even lie. So I remember when I first felt it, really, I went up for a Netflix series. It was a really big one. And it was down to the last of the castings, knockouts. Like, we've done that. We're like on the very last auditions, chemistry reads. and we was in a group, me and these bunch of girls, and we were talking about the likelihood of being casted in the show, you know, just like, oh, what does everybody think? I remember one girl, she wasn't particularly very nice anyway. She looked at me, she was like, oh, you've got nothing to worry about though, innit? You're black. They need you for diversity. And I felt like that was such a spit in the face. Like, some tick box. That's what I am. I'm not really here as an actor. I'm just here as a tick box, you know. That did really negatively affect me. You know, she went on to say, oh no, but you know what I mean, like, because you're black, that every show has to have at least one black character in it. And I think that's just the thing when I hear people say that. That's not the first time I've heard that. Was another guy, one of my castmates as well, you know, he said, I don't know if he seemed a bit resentful because I've had quite a few lovely opportunities, and he said, you know, well, you know, you're lucky because you're black, you know, they have to have a black person in the show, you know, there's not that much. So, but I think the ironic thing about that is most times I go up for a show, they have like a bunch of white characters, and there's that one black person that's the minority, and it's me up against however many other girls, and that is not even black girls, it's minorities, it's minority role. So black, Asian, mixed race, we're all in the same bubble. So I just felt like, how can you turn around and say that to me? Because even for the Netflix one, even if, like, I know one of the girls went up for one role, she didn't get that, but she got another role. So even if she didn't get one of the roles, she had a different one available to her. For me, I just had the one role. So how can you look down on me and say, oh, you know, it's only for diversity, I'm here for diversity, I'm definitely going to get it. You know, I didn't get it. An Asian girl got the role as well, you know? So yeah, we tick the diversity box. So yeah, it's usually from my fellow castmates, I'd say. Then when I think of like auditions and stuff, you know, I went to audition once, and it was for like a tour. I got it, but yeah, it's for a tour. And I remember going to the first audition, and I was the only black one in the room. I think there was one other Asian dude, but everyone was it was filled with like white boys, white girls and stuff. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Like, did my agent put me up for the right thing? But yeah, you know, for castings like that, it's not too bad because it's not like it's not a ethnic specific role. Do you know what I mean? It's always nice when a role comes through and it's like any ethnicity would be nice. We just want to see like what you got. So the fact that they have that is really refreshing. So yeah. And on that tour as well, I would like to talk about tours a bit sometimes. Like on tours that I've been on, I've been the only black person. And I remember on one of my tours, I'm not going to obviously not say what it was, but on one of my tours, I remember being in the car, and one of the boys there, I was with two white boys for the tour, and one of the boys there said to me, was just talking out loud, and he was like, why is everything negative begin with black? You know, you got the black plague, you got the black market, you got the black, what else did you do? Like, you named a bunch of things that start with black. And I remember just sitting there, and I wasn't in the mood anyway, but like I remember my face was burning. If I was white, I would have went bright red. I didn't say anything, and it just went stone quiet. And I know he didn't mean like that. I mean, he's not a racist, or I don't think he's a racist or anything. But I think he wasn't thinking when he was talking, you know? And it was just like awkward. It was just awkward. Me and the other guy were just like, I think the other guy did say something like, just shut up, or something like that. It was so awkward. So, you know, sometimes being black, you're in situations that are just like, oh, why didn't this person think that, you know, maybe you shouldn't have said that, you know, things like that. Yeah, and not even being touchy. It's just awkward. Yeah.
Yesterday, I woke at 5 and I cried. I looked at my babies and I cried. I closed my eyes and I cried. I cried for those raging would make it home safe. I cried that another life wouldn't be taken by the state. I cried that white people would pull up and do right. I cried that we have the energy to stand up and fight. I cried that we learnt from our ancestors' plight, that we organise, strategise and turn darkness to light. This is not about the police. This is about a system built on oppressors' beliefs. Yesterday, I woke up at 5 and I cried because I just can't take the loss of another black person's life.